What is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here. Today we're going to be talking about some really new offlane tech, and I'm not kidding. It's new, it's very popular, and it's something that you guys can absolutely do in your pubs. Now I'm going to give you a couple of ideas in today's video, but we're going to be covering offlane Medusa. So what in the world could be good about offlane Medusa? Now I will admit, guys, in the pro scene, it's currently seen primarily as a response to Phantom Assassin. That is the main time it is picked. Why? Well, undulation is the fastest that you're going to be taking. It makes Medusa's movement speed a fixed 310. This is actually very good considering the hero typically is a 285 movement speed hero. You're nastily slow, or 275. So it makes you faster than you would usually be at level 1. On top of that, you cannot be slowed, so PA cannot slow you. She cannot slow you with Dagger or Orb of Corrosion. Plus, Orb of Corrosion is armor reduction. Medusa does not get affected by armor reduction at all. That is how Mana Shield works. It doesn't get affected by magic resist reduction or armor reduction. And so you are a hard counter to heroes that do this. For instance, Ancient Apparition. It is another reason why you will see Medusa consistently picked into Ancient Apparition at the highest level. So, yeah, it is a response to PA in lane. But I believe this hero, as people figure it out more and more, will be picked as a response to more than just PA, as just a general strong laner in the offlane. On top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. So, what is good about this hero in the laning stage? As I was saying, the first thing is really undulation. Being a fast range hero is a luxury in Dota. The majority of cores that are ranged are not fast. Think about heroes like Viper or Razor and Medusa, typically. They're all very, very slow. This is the balance to heroes, right? Because naturally ranged heroes typically have some sort of advantage where they get to hit you and deny without being in range of spells, and so on and so forth, as he actually immediately auto-attacks the PA. And he's getting very aggressive as, it's a snake doing big damage. Now, let's talk about snake very quickly. This is the most important spell of the laning stage. However, the E is actually harder to use in my opinion. So the snake, it's 80 mana. The big thing to keep in mind is you need to make sure you do not waste it. It gives mana back to you if you hit targets with mana. It only jumps 3 times, so you need to make sure you are not just clicking it on 3 melee creeps. That is a big grief. Best case scenario, you are clicking it on a ranged creep plus 2 heroes. That is the OP snake. The more reliable situation is just a hero plus a ranged creep. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is it deals more damage per bounce. So, if it is bounced twice, it's dealing 50% more damage, which is a huge jump in damage, especially when it's level 2. It really makes a big difference. So, optimally, you're hitting either like 2 melee creeps in a hero, or, you know, when you're level 3, you're hitting 3 melee creeps in a hero, or 2 melee creeps, a range creep in a hero. This is what you're looking for. You need to be very intentional about this type of thing, where your hero will feel like a shitty laner. And we're going to see an example of good snake usage right here. The ability will not really give you mana back if you only hit 1 target with it, but it's generally worth the damage, right? 2 melee creeps here is going to hit onto the Ringmaster, deal a solid 97 damage, give him about 60 mana back, which again, or 65, which is less than the mana cost, and so you will not heal from hitting 1 unit with mana. You need to hit 2 units with mana until you are level 3. So just keep that in mind. It's more of a harass tool at level 1 than anything, or a CS tool. But he hit 2 heroes there, and that is a fantastic snake, right? This is not best case scenario, close. 2 hero snake, 188 mana, all the way up to 275. Absolutely worth the 80 mana cost. Now, next thing to talk about is Gorgon's Grasp. The reason why Medusa is such a good laner is she has 2 nukes that cost almost no mana. It is 40 mana in level 1, and its ability is 30 damage flat and 100 damage per second. It lasts for 0.8 seconds, so it deals an extra 80 damage, so the ability is a flat 110 damage. Now, it actually can deal more, and I'm going to show that to you guys right now. Okay, so the main thing you need to note about Medusa's E is that it does more damage if you catch them in the middle of the spell. Now, this isn't as important in the early levels because it's based on the flat damage, not the damage per second, but once you have it maxed out, especially when you have Atos, it's really, really important. Just to show this off, right, if I just put the guy in the outer circle, it's going to deal, right? It put him to about 610, right? But if I refresh it and put him in between the hexes, right? Or whatever you want to call it, in between the circles, it will deal more damage to do an extra 150 damage. So by the time the route is over, right? Instead of being at 610, he's at 480. So it's actually a big deal when you hit this eventual Atos timing to learn to put them in the middle of the circles so you get that bonus damage. It's a big, big deal considering this hero does a very flat amount of damage. So in terms of items, the starting items are null components, stick, and branches. One of the nice things about Medusa is you never have to buy tangos, right? Because this hero does not benefit from HP regen almost at all. As gets the double snake here, or a nice little snake onto the Ringmaster. 2 points in the W. and he picks up 2 mangoes. And the mangoes are very important, right? Because mangoes are effectively not 100 mana or 100 HP. They're double that, right? Because mana shield gives 2.2 base damage per mana. Oh, and it's actually more than that per level. I didn't even know that, guys. I'm not going to cap. So it's actually more than that, right? So when you pop a mango, it gives you an insane amount of effective HP. This item is ridiculously efficient, as Tusk is going to TP in. And in my opinion, the Tusk should also have mangoes. And there you go. And so the pros will kind of synergize this. Obviously, in your pubs, if you pick this shit, don't expect your +4 to feed you mangoes or feed you a Lotus, as he should eventually get the Lotus, which is spawning in 20 seconds, which is super OP on Medusa, especially if you click it when you're missing mana and health, as he hits a really nice snake. Look at that damage. Tag team onto the PA. He actually doesn't really have anywhere to blink to, as he could... Oh, nice shards into the E. Actually hit it in the middle of the hexes as well, so he gets that extra bit of damage. Obviously, not that much at level 1. It's only 30 more damage. Pretty inconsequential, but... yeah, I mean, okay, try to get the little cheeky range creep into the Ringmaster Snake. And yeah, I mean, this hero's just a good laner. The reality is, because you can't be slowed, especially against heroes with slows, you're nasty, right? You're just nasty. You can't be tracked down. Even against something like Ringmaster, right? This hero just has slow in his E. It just is really, really annoying to play against a ranged hero with extremely good base stats, and that can't be slowed. Plus, the items she gets to buy are hyper efficient. The only flaw to this hero is it's actually very hard to actually regen mana, right? It's just sort of the nature of Medusa. You can't buy tangos, you can only buy clarities, and clarities get canceled. So if you get stuck on low health, it's a bit problematic, which is why you sort of have to frequently take the initiative and be very aggressive with the snake, finding constant opportunities to put it out. But yeah, look, the PA just can't go on her due to the undulation. She just walks it off. PAs, their intuition is that they're going to dagger you and hit you, but yeah, it just walks away. Just walks away. Pretty funny, right? There's just a lot of carries and heroes with slows that are directly countered by this hero. And it's funny, people don't get it either, right? They just don't get it. Like, look at this clip. They're like, oh, this guy's kind of low on mana, let's go on him. But daggers him, blood grenade hits him, but that doesn't slow either. The E misses because he's so fast. I mean, partially because he just misses, but because he's so fast. I don't know. It's like, it's actually so sad how bad this lane is against Medusa. And PA Ringmaster wins a lot of lanes. Like, this is a lane dominating combo, let me tell you. So pretty funny to see. So the main objective of Medusa is to sit in your lane as long as possible. You should not rotate at all. You should be playing only for your Meteor Hammer timing. Do not leave the lane. Do not TP. Do not gank. Don't do any of this. You're a very slow hero when it comes to the mid game, okay? You are very fast in the lane, but you cannot increase your movement speed. It does not get increased by boots. It does not get increased by Smoke of Deceit, Solar Crest, anything really. And so do not move around the map. Do not gank. If you gank on Medusa, you will have a crap hero. You will do nothing in the game. You will just be poor. So instead, oh my god, he's going to kill him. Oh, okay. I think if he just snaked him, he actually would have just killed him. Bit of a misplay there. But yeah, why is Meteor Hammer broken on this hero? Well, first of all, it builds from Kaya. It's a 24 int item, which is insanely high int, right? It's a 24 int item, which gives you a nasty amount of health. It gives you mana regen amplification, so you basically heal more. It's essentially like lifesteal on this hero. And yeah, I mean, Meteor Hammer is just good on Dusa. Why? You are tanky. With this build, you are tanky. So you just walk up to buildings and take buildings. And if carries can't see you, for instance, if you use night vision like this, which is really awesome, I actually think you would just, oh, he didn't have snake. I see. Okay. You can really pressure out heroes. Wow, they completely dumpstered this PA. It's actually insane how strong this shit is. But yeah, once you have the Meteor Hammer, you want to push in waves and take towers. So at this point of the game, a lot of offlane deuces will actually just run mid. You're actually very efficient at taking stacks. This is another thing to keep in mind. And stacks are the best way to heal. So if you're trying to heal, if you feel like you're getting stuck on low mana, it's stacks. That's actually the best way to heal. For instance, this camp, or these camps, have most of the creeps have mana here, especially the Satyr camp is OP. So he heals a lot from that snake, right? Probably got about, what, 200 mana back? Something like that? Yeah, about 250 mana, which is a ton, right? There's a lot of health. And so these stacks are super OP. And you just want to look for camps that have 3 creeps with mana at minimum. Then it's efficient. It's actually just solo kills the PA. PA probably a little tilted. And you can use the E from out of vision, right? Kind of sets up with the E. Just barely clips him, and it just does a lot of damage, especially considering this item gives spell amps. So an extra 10% makes the difference for sure on the PA there. And he's just going to look to push in the wave. So you can just go mid and push in the mid wave off cooldown. That's totally fine. Or you can do what he's doing. This is pretty awesome as well, which is just griefing the enemy carry and using the Meteor Hammer to sort of farm the outside camps. Now, there's one thing I would really love him to do, which is buy clarities. Why are clarities OP? They heal you, and they are 50% better with Meteor Hammer. I don't really like the fact that he's just stuck at half mana, which is half health. I think it's a bit problematic, as you hope to get Mana Drought. If you get Mana Drought, bless up. He gets Ripper's Lash, so I guess just playing for the damage here. Yeah, you really want Mana Drought on this hero if you get it, just so you can obviously keep your HP pool high. Or you can take some sort of damage item with like Ripper's Lash or Spark of Courage are okay as well. But yeah, at this point he comes mid, and this is very standard gameplay. You take the top tower, maybe you farm it up for a little bit like Tahawk did, and then you kind of come mid, and you start to take the mid tower. And the majority of casts just can't kill you. Unless they have like very specific chain stun comps, you can't really die because you're going to heal off them when they go on you with the snake. You're going to click Stone Gaze. You're going to click your E, which is going to root them. You can't be slowed, which most comps have at least a few slows, like this comp has, right? Pango W, Hoodwink Q, technically, Ringmaster E, Ringmaster Ult, Storm E, PA Dagger. Like, you'd be surprised how much you just randomly get slowed in Dota, right? They all have a slow, technically, which is pretty funny, right? But yeah, at this point, he comes back top. You do want to kind of play an area. Do not get baited to just run around. You are strong on your Atos timing. So your second timing is Atos. It's a very straightforward why. It just sets up for your spells. Like, I don't think it's exactly hard to understand. You lead in with the Atos, then you click your E, then you click your Meteor Hammer, and then you click your Snake, which he actually does a really nice job of bouncing it off creep, so it does bonus damage here. And look at this poor PA. It goes from half health to 100 HP with a couple of auto attacks. And funny enough, he actually has Atos come back up. Whew, that was a juicy snake. That was actually so well played. Even he ends up TPing in here. Okay, doesn't find the kill. And again, you're not that fast. Like, it's kind of a bait because in the early game, you're like, wow, I'm so fast. I can kind of run around, do my thing. And he queues up the Blade Mail, which I love. I saw a bunch of people playing this Medusa and they weren't buying Blade Mail. Wow, that is so much damage. Did he put him in the middle of the hexes? I hope he did. Looks like he did it. Yeah, he did. He did. Right, put him right in the middle of the hexes, either here or here. That bonus tick. And the Meteor Hammer, I don't even think it came out, but he still just died. And so yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of damage, right? As Ancients basically all have mana, so Ancient stacks are a great way to heal up with your Snake. Again, just really pay attention. You can actively stack for yourself because you have no points in queue. You can't really farm neutrals that fast. I mean, it's not terrible. You can cast both your nukes, but it's very efficient to stack it and then cast both your nukes, so you heal more. Actually going in here, this looks a little weird, considering he has no team here. Honestly, I have a feeling what's going to happen here is he's not going to kill anyone, but they're not going to kill him. I guess we'll see. He's actually probably going to kill Ringmaster. Can they kill him? Oh, no. Oh my gosh. I don't even think they're going to kill him. I'm not going to lie. Okay, they're actually not. Wrap this shit up. Wrap it up. This game is over. Atos and Meteor Hammer is not reliable, but it can hit against heroes that do not have mobility or mobility on cooldown. It can connect as he throws another snake, and he is just cooking the mid game. As they continue on, find the PA, he snakes it up, and he's going to be buying a Gleipnir now. The reason why the Gleipnir is good is it increases the E AoE, the Gleipnir AoE itself. I believe it increases Stone Gaze and the W bounce range, and it increases Meteor Hammer cast range, which is actually pretty real. I'm not gonna lie, I do think that people will eventually come to builds that don't involve just directly rushing the Gleipnir. Not that I think it's bad, it's definitely nice team fight, nice early utility, good stats for this hero, but it is pretty expensive. It's like a 2k gold upgrade from Atos, and I do think that there's probably other builds, even just more utility items. I even think like something like a Diffusal, just like continuing to buy more and more small items, more control, more utility, and just playing this like hyper tempo is pretty reasonable. Even things like Mage Slayer can be good on this hero. Just again, so you have like a lot of mana and a lot of utility. It's probably a very situational hero, which is going to be another cool thing about this. Is why that Fatal Bond's did quite a bit of damage, and he queues up the hacks. And this is where I'm not gonna lie, I don't really love these Medusa builds. I really believe there's a world in which you're just a hybrid. I think people might eventually move to hybrid as they try on him, but he gets off the Blade Mail. Looks like he probably will die here. A little bit too aggressive. Again, I wish he would buy a couple clarities. I just can't believe he hasn't bought a single clarity on Medusa with Akaya. Like, how? I actually don't get it. If he's full mana, this isn't even close. I mean, they're not killing him through another half mana pool. They barely killed him through this. Do they even kill him through this one? Looks like they will. Yeah. I mean, it costs them everything. They probably all die for it in reality. Not really. I mean, sort of. Oh, no. This game is so over. Yeah, but this is where I don't really like these Dusa builds. I just think that buying something like Hex on a core hero as like your third-ish item, fourth... Some people will literally buy it after the Gleipnir without Blade Mail, and I mean, there's the clarities, finally. You heard me. Thank God. I just think that it's kind of weird. It's just low damage. I don't know, even something like Orchid to me makes more sense. Like, Orchid's a way earlier timing. You can go even something like Orchid into Mjolnir. I mean, to me, there's no reason to not eventually scale into right-click. Like, you absolutely can. You can buy an Orchid, get an int item plus a tech speed item, then buy just, like, a damage item like Gleipnir, and then last item buy something like Ags, and then eventually sell your Meteor Hammer and buy, like, a Scotty. And to me, this just makes a lot of sense. I feel like you can be this, like, hybrid, and still play very, very tempo. So, yeah, I think that, okay, he actually switched to Blink, which I don't mind. I think, let's say you pick offlane Dusa and your team has no stuns, Blink is probably the item. So I think this is pretty cool. As that E is so big, actually. Wow. Maybe I underrated the Gleipnir. I mean, the Meteor Hammer is like half the screen. The last tick of the E? What the? Okay, that's actually way bigger than I thought. That's what she said. I mean, that's kind of crazy. All right, maybe the Gleipnir's no joke. I actually underestimated it. Speed Dota was wrong. I will not go back on the clarities. Let me tell you, the clarities are more than required. As 2-man Gleipnir into the 2-man E, so much damage, a lot of control. And this game is more than over. But yeah, I mean, this hero, I'll continue to probably update you guys on it in the future because I think it's super awesome and super legit. The big thing you're going to have to get used to, because you can easily grief on this hero. Again, I'll just kind of remind you guys how that can happen. Number one, in the lane, you need to buy mangoes at some point, so you're actually tanky. You need to not miss your snake. I'm telling you, if you miss even a single snake, it actually can grief very hard. Oh, that's pretty cool with the stone gates. You can blink into them. I mean, that makes so much sense. The blink makes a lot of sense because in team fights, I mean, you can easily force people to just have to basically run into your team or at least stand next to your team with it. Oh, Blade Mail Blink makes a lot of sense. You know what? I'm starting to really get behind this set of items. It's starting to make more and more sense. The Hog gets it. This guy tends to get it. I think he's one of the people where when I watch his new builds, obviously they're not all good, but he tends to have a lot of good ideas. But all right, last things. In terms of skill build, as I was saying, you max out the W, then you max out the E, then you take your ult. You can skill split shot. It looks like he's taking stats over it, which, I mean, I guess. If you're not trying to like scale at all, then sure. Oh, that's why the E is so big. He has Gorgon's Grasp Radius at 10. Oh, okay. So he takes Gorgon, Grasp Radius, and of course Mystic Snake with this build. And then at level 20, I would generally actually say that Stone Gaze duration is better. Mystic Snake bounces just cap. It's rarely actually going to do anything. Situationally against Meepo, it can, but like not really. And then at level 25, I'm sure the last Gorgon's Grasp Valley is like the entire screen, but it's hard to fight against 40 int on Medusa. However, actually, I'm going to go test that and we'll end the video there. All right, let's see how big this thing is. Where can I hit Storm from? Wait, where can I cast this? Oh, you have to actually cast it pretty close to yourself. Okay, I don't know. That's pretty funny. It's the whole screen. I still not sure. It's like, I guess maybe it's better. Maybe it's better. I don't know. 40 int is so much, but that, I mean, that's... It's like comically large. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the gameleap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!